Hi, everyone. This is Denise, and I am doing Facebook Live this morning on the tool of the pause, Pause, which is really, a temporary stop or a suspension of the voice. It's where we have a rest or a break between a question and a response. And it's a very powerful tool, the pause. And I want to introduce you to it for a couple of different reasons. And a big one is that we are entering a very heavy spending time of the year. I go to Costco and it's, Halloween and Thanksgiving and holiday gifts and all this stuff, and it's more of a frenzied time of year right now where we become vulnerable to spend more. And the other thing is, I just want to teach you about really wise spending with around brain chemistry. So we're going to talk about the pause, and the pause does involve the human brain. I have a cross section of the human brain right here. This is the hind brain, which we share with the animals, and this is all the involuntary stuff: our breathing, our digestion, our heartbeat. All of the involuntary processes that happen in our body happen in this hind part of the brain. And then we have the midbrain. It looks like a shape of an almond. It's so deceiving in that, the size of it is so small and the power of it is global. It's gigundous. And in this little almond part of the brain rests all addictive behavior, pain, pleasure. I want what I want when I want it. All of this type of behavior. This is the part of the brain that we also share with the animals. And these two parts of the brain, the hind and the midbrain, are very primitive in nature. Okay? They're also reactive. There is no responsive nature to these parts of the brain. They're very reactive. The part that we don't share with the animals is the frontal lobe, this part of the brain. You might be surprised if you have kids that this part of the brain actually doesn't get fully activated until about the age of 23 in women and even later in men. And this is our executive thinking part. It's the consequence part. And it's the part that we need to develop to step into mature money behaviors. Because if we just stay stuck in this almond shape of the brain, we're going to have a lot of money drama in our life, right? That's the bottom line. And drama equals sometimes crisis. And then the consequences of chronic crisis are health issues and various other things that can happen. More drama equals more drama. So where does the pause come in? So here's where it comes in. Let's say that we are shopping and we, see something that catches our eye, or we feel like, oh, I just have to have that thing, or wouldn't it be nice if, and we feel kind of emotionally attracted to that, whatever thing we're talking about, purchasing or buying, right? So the pause comes right between here, the almond shape, the reactive part of the brain, and the responsive part of the brain. Now, the brain, we have to put the pause in here, right? We have to. So if there's something that we see that we want, there are 7 questions that we can ask ourselves in order to stimulate the frontal lobe, the thinking part of the brain, the responsive part. So one of those questions around the shopping part is, why am I here and what am I doing here shopping? Is this purposeful? Did I come with a list? Who am I shopping for? Am I shopping to alleviate a feeling? Am I shopping to get a high? Am I shopping with purpose, right? Why am I here? The second question is, how do I feel? Do I feel numbed out? Am I angry? Am I sad? Am I really happy? What feeling am I experiencing in my body right now while I'm shopping? Because sometimes more negative or solemn feeling states lead us to shopping more, right? There's a saying in 12-step programs for alcoholics, don't put yourself in a vulnerable space around going out drinking or to a bar, which one wouldn't be doing anyway if they were in recovery. They use the acronym HALT. If you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, those kind of feeling states where you're already drained. If you take yourself shopping in that kind of a state, you're going to spend more. That's like common sense. Do I need this? Do I really need this? Do I have a space for it in my living space? What will the purpose of this be? What will happen if I wait? What if I just leave this thing here and I go away and come back in a couple days and see if it's still really calling my name? How will I pay for it? Do I have extra money in my bank account to pay for this if it's an unplanned expense? Will I put it on a credit card and because I don't have the money in my bank account? Will I take money out of savings? How will I pay for this item? And where will I put it? That's the 6th question that we kind of just covered. And the 7th question is purchasing this sabotaging my cash flow plan? And is purchasing this sabotaging the integrity and the agreement that I made with myself around where I'm directing my money this month, right? So those are some questions to ask that are, about the pause, right? It's like we're looking at the pause so that we come out of the reactive part of the brain to the responsive part of the brain. Here to here, the pause lives here. I also want to say that, just even for ourselves, like if we're not spending, just life in general, if somebody says to you, it could be around your rate or will you accept a lower rate? Will you, I'm just going to give you an example in my own life. Yesterday, I received an email and it was a couple they are referred to me by somebody that I had worked with who is now a therapist. And she referred them, and they're in their early 20s, and she has wants me to see them because they're going to be getting married. And they said, we would like a sliding scale, and I don't have a sliding scale. And I had a little bit of conflict going on because I really adore the client, was this person that was my client that referred them. And I want to help her. I want to help her to help them. And so, I have to sit with this a little bit. So a pause is really important before we respond. I said, I will get back to you because that gives me time to go inside of myself and to think about things and to see what feels in integrity with myself before I put a response back out into the world. And so you can look at pause phrases for yourself. Like, what are your own pause phrases? Some of the ones that work for me are, let me think about that and get back to you. Or let me chew on that, or I need to process that for a little bit, and I'll give you a call in a couple of days, something of that nature. So during this season and in our lives in general, remember to use the tool of the pause. It offers a space of silence and reflection between what is being asked of you and how you're going to respond. And the pause lives in this part of the brain between the midbrain, the pain and pleasure center, and the frontal lobe, the part that we do not share with the animals. Okay? God gave us a frontal lobe for a reason. If He wanted the animals to have one, He would have given one to them too. But we have a frontal lobe, and, we need to show up to use it. So anyway, that's it for today. And I hope that you all have a wonderful week. And thank you for being here this morning.